All praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, doing the work in truth and sincerity. I'm probably only read like one or two scriptures. You see the title of the video on RT. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and probably about 5-10 minutes of it. And I'm gonna get a couple of scriptures. I'm not gonna say too much because, well, we know where that would lead to. Don't want no more cut videos, so gonna get right on into it.
From the RT America HQ here in Washington, D.C., you're about to learn all that's in question here and around the world. These are the stories we're following for you today. First up, the holiday season is just around the corner, and countries across Europe are beginning to create new COVID restrictions for unvaccinated citizens. So what will the reaction be? We have a full report and analysis straight ahead. Plus,
so you heard that part. I'm gonna fast forward it a little bit so I can pretty much get right to the point.
All right, it's time to boost your news IQ.
The workbench is the center of your work area, and it should be designed for your needs. That's why we offer configurable work.
This was just a day ago.
Europe has once again become the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic. Now several countries are bringing back COVID restrictions, with some going as far as to implement controversial lockdowns that only target the unvaccinated. RT's Trinity Chavez has the story.
Today, U.S. health officials on high alert, paying close attention to what's happening in Europe. Coronavirus cases rising there, despite the widespread rollout of vaccines. About 3 million new cases just reported last week, the most in a single week since the pandemic started. In Austria, the situation's so bad, the country's going back into lockdown, but only for the unvaccinated. About 2 million Austrians who haven't got the shot are being told to stay home and only go out for essential trips. Police now patrolling the streets, conducting random vaccination status checks. The new regulations getting mixed reaction from residents.
I say it's not a good idea. Why do we need another lockdown?
Neighboring Slovakia also reintroducing lockdown measures for those who aren't vaccinated. Among the proposed measures, people who have not got the shot will be banned from all non-essential stores, shopping malls, gyms, pools, and hotels. Protesters taking to the streets in the Slovakian capital of Bratislava on Wednesday to protest the coronavirus restrictions. The Czech Republic also prohibiting people who have not been vaccinated from entering public spaces. Negative COVID-19 tests will no longer be allowed. The move sparking demonstrations in Prague's Old Town Square. The Swedish government also announcing plans to introduce mandatory COVID-19 passes starting next month. The passes will be required to attend any indoor event with 100 people or more. Infections, though, continue to climb. Germany's disease control agency has reported nearly 53,000 new coronavirus cases. This week, several ambulances were even seen rushing in and out of Nuremberg's various hospitals and clinics due to the rapidly increasing number of COVID cases in northern Bavaria. German Chancellor Angela Merkel describing the current pandemic situation in Germany as dramatic when she spoke to the Association of German City Leaders on Wednesday.
The current pandemic situation in Germany is dramatic. I can't say it any other way. The fourth wave is hitting our country with full force.
Still, though, some are wondering whether vaccines alone are sufficient enough to curb the coronavirus spread. For In Question, Trinity Chavez, RT.
And joining me now to discuss are Boom Bust co-host and investigative journalist Ben Swan and Ed Martin, president of the Eagle Forum. Now, Ben, let's start with you here. I know you traveled to Europe earlier this year, and you saw and covered a lot of the protests that were against the very measures that are now being implemented.
Sure.
So what do you make of these latest restrictions?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of really important things here. Number one, the fact that you're going to have huge backlash across Europe, right? Because people who are already frustrated with this idea of green passes, vaccine passports. But there's a bigger issue here, and I think the bigger issue is the fact that, yes, cases are rising right now, but there is no evidence so far that the cases are rising because of people who are unvaccinated. Remember, we know the data shows that vaccines don't prevent the spread of the virus, nor do they prevent the contraction of the virus. But here's some numbers from you. The UK is doing a great job in terms of actually making its data transparent. And one thing that we have found in the last 7 weeks in the UK is that 62% of the people who were hospitalized in the UK from COVID were fully vaccinated. 73% of the people who died from COVID in the last 7 weeks were fully vaccinated. So the question for these countries, as they're looking at the numbers as they're rising right now, is how many of these new cases are actually the result of people who are vaccinated as opposed to the unvaccinated? And if that is the case, then it makes no sense to create two classes of people and lock down the unvaccinated and let the vaccinated continue to infect each other.
Well, and speaking of
And right there, he done said a mouthful right there. He done pretty much said it all, you know. So I don't need to say anything else. I'm just going to read these scriptures and close this video. This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they prescribe. Now, you heard he himself what he said about the V's and the unV's, you know. And, you know, I can't, like I said, I can't repeat it because I don't want to get a strike just for that because the news said it. So I let them say it. And there's only one other scripture that I really want to get because this is coming to America real soon. And this is the time that we are coming into. And this is, see, yep, there you go. 2nd Ezra 2:15. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And this is the kind of times we're coming into because of this V. So, hey, it's right around the corner. Just we're that much closer to the next prophecy, which is the motb. Hey, the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kwakadash is coming quick. It's coming like popcorn right now. And that's all I wanted to show you, Akim. You can see the title of the video on RT, so you know. That way you can watch the whole thing. The whole presentation is only a half hour long. And the part that I showed is only about 10 minutes long. But you can watch the whole thing if you want to on RT. And, you know, hey, with that, I'm say shalom. All praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kwakadash. Until the next time, shalom.